if you think of MUD's taxes or property taxes levied by a taxing entity in state law, then all the MUD bills are basically designed to provide transparency or trying to get a better approval process for MUD districts, right, in the county, right? So and most people here in Austin, after like many sessions, agree that a MUD board issues or puts a tax on the citizens, okay?
Yeah.
And it's part of the tax bill, and it's a tax, right? I fundamentally it's a tax, okay?
Yes.
So you buy that argument, then the next step is, why not follow the exact same rules as cities and school districts?
Right.
Why can't a MUD board meet in Rockwall or 10 miles away and issue and levy a tax on the citizens of the state and never be in the cities like us holding a city council meeting in Rockwall because it's just more convenient?
Right.
Right. And that doesn't make sense, right? So that's part of the MUDs. The other part, so look, that's about existing MUDs, right? So that's about, how do you run existing MUD, right? So you get the MUD creation process and you get the existing MUDs, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The MUD creation process is we're trying to get more of a transparent process instead of just going to TCQ, get approval without consideration of roads, water, sewer, emergency services, anything like that, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So we're trying to get them to understand, like, you have to have a different approval process, right? Because you will literally run taxes out of water if you keep doing this. And I would call MUD uncontrolled developments.
Yeah.
I don't think city development is uncontrolled because it's a thoughtful decision, right? You agree or disagree with that, but there's a process to go through, right?
Right.
MUDs don't have to don't go through that process, right?
Right.
And you can have one. So you think about one vote authorizing $800 million of debt. That's just insane to me. But so that's like existing the new MUDs. We're trying to get fixed, okay? The first session, and they all died, by the way. Every MUD bill died this session because of lobbyists, by the way. So does
that mean we won that issue?
No, we lost it badly again.
Okay.
We got killed again because I can't fight the lobby. I mean, I was by myself again. Right or wrong, I'm used to it up here, but
yeah.
I tested and Katrina helped. She went way out of her way to get this bill. She's trying to help a lot. She's really trying. But
yeah, is Bob helping at all? Yes,
he will help us if it gets to his side. So here's what happened in Rockwall County. And so there's a political lesson in this, right? So Frank New went to Bob Paul and said, I want you to draft a bill called SB 102 that says, the county must approve any new MUD in the county. Okay? All right? So Bob wrote a bill that's saying, hey, that the Commissioner's Court had to be notified and had 30 days to issue a petition back to TCQ in opposition or support of the MUD and outline the issues, right?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. This is what's politically acceptable in the Republican Party. Okay. At least state level wide. Okay. So and then the Commissioner's Court passed a resolution opposing the bill. That is that big. Don't do that ever again here. Don't do that. You put your rep in a bad place, right? And so you ask them to introduce a bill. Now you oppose your own bill, right? So that's why that actually 102. That's why that died. So Bob Hall he hates MUDs now. We convinced him that. But he has his own stuff to carry, right? They have their own priorities, right? MUD was one of them in Rockwall County would have supported him better. MUD bill gets to the Senate, to the House of Senate, they can support it for us, right? So sometimes he just waits to get from one house to the other house. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The House bill get to the Senate side, and then he'll support that and help us through the process, right?
Right.
There was 12 MUD bills, and we lost all 12. All 12 were put in committee. All 12 of them. Only one had a hearing. That was mine, actually, when I helped get Katrina right. And that's basically said that the MUD boards had a meet in fate. So we literally asked that question. If you're a city-based MUD, you have to meet in the city, you levy a tax.
So it is my understanding that it's Republicans that are the ones that are blocking this.
Correct.
Okay, so what is the Republican argument for what they are doing? I can't understand.
Freedom. It's easy. Property rights.
So, okay.
Here's the argument, and you don't like this argument. Here's the argument, right? The argument is following. So let me back up. Abbott has returned, I think, to the historical definition of property rights.
Yeah.
Okay. So which mean like the 1800s, 1900s definition of it, right? It said a landlord can do exactly what they want to do with their land, regardless of what anybody says, right?
Mm-hmm.
Abbott also believes that city council are exercise way too much power, right? They just based on whatever reason they don't know. Sometimes we council have a good reason, sometimes they don't, but sometimes they're just too not going to do right. I'm not going to vote for this because I have my own personal reason against it. That's what the Book of Right believes, that cities are basically in the way of freedom and property rights. Okay, so they're saying that if a developer wants to, buy 600 acres outside of Josephine for Epic, right, right, that they have the right to do that, right?
Yeah, according to Republicans.
Yeah, they have the right to do that because they have the property rights. Now, what Epic did, they made a massive mistake by their PR campaign that says they want to, pick and choose who lives there, right? Okay, that was wrong.
Yeah, that's basically redlining. You can't do that. It's illegal.
Exactly, right? So state stepped in, they should have, and now the federal government's stepping in to do that, right? So I get it, right? So, but what I'm trying to get the state legislature to understand here was, do you want what my fear of MUD districts are, it turns into a private city. So what's happening today in the MUD district in the county, right? Let's say the MUD district right next to Fate. Let's just make this up, right? Mm-hmm. The MUD district will ask Fate to cover
their police and fire and all their stuff, right?
Right, and not pay us.
Right.
So now you're getting...
Right, because they don't pay city tax. They pay MUD tax, but the MUD is not giving the cities any money to provide these services.
Right, or if they did, it's not recover costs. One of the bills I asked them to file was that by statutory right, you have to do impact fees between a MUD in the city or MUD in the county that covered water, sewer, roads, EMS, police, fire, and all emergency services, right? Including emergency management, which is like disasters, right? Mm-hmm. And so the statutory authority to do that, and the MUD had to pay costs plus long-term capital, which means police trucks, like the new fire department, new police trucks or new fire, police cars, right? Stuff like that. They had to pay for the capital stuff. That's done in committee too. So now what MUDs are going to do, and it's about to happen in Rockwell County, is all these MUDs are going to pop in the county, and the cities will provide the services for them for free, unless the city makes a decision to say no. Farmersville, McKinney, Addison, bunch of them just said no. We're not doing this. If you're in a MUD, you don't have an agreement with us, we're not going to respond to any fire calls. Is that going to happen in reality? I don't know, buddy. I mean, that's kind of harsh, for a firefighter not go fight a fire, right? I mean,
right.
I'm not sure that can happen. But so it's all about property rights, right? They can do property rights. What I'm saying is that great, I'm all for property rights, but you can't get free goods, right? You cannot do a tax shift between give you services for free and then the city's residents bear the cost of the property tax burden of that. That's not fair. So if you're going to consume a resource, then you get to pay for it, right?
Right.
That's what I'm trying to get them to do, and they all died. I checked again yesterday, and Katrina staff said there's no way they're getting out.
Okay.
Just not going to happen. Anyway.
So, is there any kind of MUD reform that is being proposed or that died or anything that you can foresee that would assist in MUDs going away eventually? Like instead of what we have right now where MUDs are just eternal, they never disappear, they never go, so there's nothing. And is there anything in let's say next session, right? Forget this session because everything's died. Yeah. But next session, what could be done by our representatives that would actually assist people that are currently in MUDs, not new MUDs getting created, but current MUDs?
I think it has to be. Here's a challenge. Katrina really did try to give us what we wanted. She went way over her way. She negotiated new language. I wrote the bill. Probably, I never read them. I give them language for the bills, right? Yeah. They made them legal, right? Stuff like that. But
I think Katrina's done a decent job of listening to us. I'm actually more irritated by Bob Hall, who never has an opponent, and it's taken forever to get him to even recognize that this is an issue.
Yeah, I agree with you. So I've been through 4 sessions now, right? Honestly, Katrina is 10,000% better than Justin Holland.
Yeah.
I mean, night and day. I mean, you see it a little bit differently. I see it from last year we had no input. Today we have a ton of input.
No, I've reached out to Katrina recently, and we've spoken about some things. So I feel like, I mean, you're never going to get 100% out of a rep, but I do feel like I know it would be better with her than Justin Holland.
Oh, by far, yeah. This has been 9 day. I tend to all the time is 9 day. We have they'll text me one night. They text me half the night about bills. What's our opinion on local government on this bill, how it affects cities. They're reaching out and they're trying to get input on this, which is great.
Right.
And it's nice they do that, right? I give them hey, this is a good bill, this is a bad bill, or this is a split decision bill, right? Which means as written it sucks. But if you amend it, it's really good. Like the bill coming up right now, we're trying to amend the bill for septic tanks or 900 home to fake get de-annexed or could be de-annexed. So, yeah, I don't know. That's a good question, Cody, because I think I've been trying to figure this out too, right? Is what's stopping it? It's the lobbyists. It alerted the lobbyists. They set up in these committee hearings and say, if you do this, the Texas miracle is over.
Which lobbying group is in support of this?
This is all the one who opposed us is all the MUD districts are run by attorneys, right? Law firms. So Rose and Company manages 294 MUDs or something like that in Texas. So about 3 big law firms manage all the MUDs, and they appear every time a MUD bill. They appear. And the one guy he just follows me, he stopped in the hallway last time I got the MUD bill. He said, "You're just not being fair." So why not being fair? Well, the board of directors don't want to be in fate. I said, well, did you realize 90% of the board of directors don't live in fate? Just own property? No. And that's what he did to you. You walk in the hallway, so you're just being fair. So the guy called me out, by the way. He said, well, Mayor Faye's up here, testifying for this bill, and he doesn't realize that his, own, MUD board members don't want this. They want to meet in Rockwall. For convenience, on my testify, I said, well, since you called me out, as you've been doing, since you called me out, here's responses. I said, listen to what they told you. It's not the convenience of the taxpayers, it's the convenience of the lobbyists or the attorney. Look what they said to you, right? I think we'd have to, the attorney would definitely write the bill again. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. We'll get the bills introduced. There's not a problem.
Yeah.
We've got to get the speaker on board.
Yeah.
The Speaker of the House has to get on board. Yeah. It's got to be in the top 150 bills. We got to get the leadership of the House to back this.
Yeah.
Because I was told by lobbyists just now that the Speaker is not deciding who gets hearings, not the committee chairs anymore.
That's even worse.
That's not good.
No,
that's even worse.
That's worse than when we had Democrats to deal with. One man should not be in charge of all of that.
I'm with you. Even the committee hearing, and the committee chair is bad enough. At least you can talk to them, right? You can talk to 8 members.
Right.
So you can lobby the committee, which I've done. Write them letters, go talk to us that way.
Getting a response from one man for all of this is
it's crazy.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, so I think we're going to have to get the Speaker of the House on board. I think Katrina's going to have to. I told Katrina stuff yesterday was. She needs. I told her Sunday, say, you're the leader of the Republican Party in Rockwall County, and that's what I told her. You're just flat the leader of it now.
She is.
We have to stop. We have to stop shooting. Stop, eating our young. Okay, just stop it. Stop this inner battle, whatever we're doing, right? Issue, right? And then it's something getting stuff done and fixed, right? So, she'll think about doing that. But Katrina has relationships with boroughs, and we're gonna have to get her to say, look, MUD reform's a big deal here. It has to be a priority, at least the top 150 bill, right? And try to get done.
Yeah.
Beyond that,
but
even if we had 100 people show up and say, this is a great bill, the committee just doesn't care.
No.
That one guy does. They just don't, right? It's like a weird process. But if you do it long enough, I got bills amended this year, by the way, several of them amended with Katrina's help. Right. Yeah. So it's better this year for us. The next session, I don't know. I think MUD reform will keep coming out. I think EPIC's going to cause a debate to happen, but they got to fix MUD, right? EPIC is a symptom of a root cause problem.
Yeah.
Do you want a private city or not?
Right.
If you want private cities in Texas, great, but we'll do it. So anyway, so it's been depressing actually, but 12 bills all died. 12 good bills, they all died.
But you don't know of any way in which any kind of MUD reform that actually gives relief to the people that are in MUDs right now. And that's the part that I can't understand. There's so many people, especially just in fate, that are paying MUDs, and they're going to be paying them eternally. And because we have so many MUDs in fate, it's keeping us from being able to have an appropriate tax rate in fate and be able to fund things. So everything we do has to go into a bond election.
And by the way, you won't ever pass a bond again if the bill's passed here, ever.
Yeah.
And the threshold is 67%. Forget it.
Yeah.
They can do 63. I told the people here that you're boxing cities into this little box that they cannot operate anymore.
Right.
You just can't. You do nothing. It will be sad. It'd just be weird. So I think on the MUD, I don't know. I tried really hard to get them to do a senior tax exemption of 10%. They wouldn't do it. Yeah. MUD 1 did 5%. I couldn't get it. Well, it's unfair. It's a tax shit. What frustrates me the most is all these people on social media like, lower my taxes, like Joanne. So why don't you go fight for MUD reform then? If you truly believe in tax relief, go fight MUD reform.
That's right. That's that's something that
where are you?
We're tapped out. And the city of Fate, they're unique in that almost the entire city is under a MUD. And because of that, we can't do anything. We cannot provide services to people. And once we hit that 30,000, we're screwed.
Well, Michael, we are 30,000. So the funny is, it was funny. I told Michael, I sent Michael one of the stuff like on the budget, right? What I would do, because I just think here's my thoughts, right? So it happens, whatever happens, right? Yeah. But in the day, you're using Lance's argument, right? And the total cost of living in Fate is higher because of the MUDs.
Yeah.
And there's nothing the city council can do about it,
nothing,
right?
Nothing. We're completely, our hands are tied behind our back. We can't do anything to provide relief. And that's a huge tax for these people.
It is. Think about this. It's 3 times city tax rates.
Yes, that's the insane part. And for what? What service are they even providing?
None.
That's right. None. They're not providing a service, and the fact that we can't eventually.
And we own the roads, by the way. We own the roads, by the way. We own the roads too.
Yeah. So, how is it legal for a MUD who, yes, they provided something in the beginning, right? And they took on the risk. Cool. But at some point, those roads get paid off. The infrastructure gets paid off. It's not like it's an eternal thing, but they're taxing people for an eternity. That shouldn't be legal.
I agree with you. Number 2, what they can do is really pisses me off is secondary debt. They can issue secondary debt again against the MUD district and not have full voter approval of the MUD district. Did you know that?
No. What do you mean by that? Explain that.
So first you have, I'll give you an example. Fake DPS bond, right? Mm-hmm. 20 million, we issue 1 bond, we issue debt. So we issue, that's primary debt issuance, okay? Let's say we came back and said, we need 5 million more. So we passed a secondary debt issue against DPS bond. The bond went 2025, right? Mm-hmm. That's what MUD's going to do. So MUD can authorize $800 million. 20 years later, say we need 200 million more and authorize it without the voter approval.
What?
Yeah.
There's no way that, there's no freaking way that should be legal. The fact that's stealing. For all of the people that are talking about property tax relief, right? Like all these senators and House reps, they all talk about property tax relief. Who is talking about the MUDs?
See, that's why I start with the basic premise, right? Is you have to buy the argument that the MUD levies a property tax. If you buy that argument, you're right. I'm just saying correct. If you don't buy the argument, they ignore us. Cody, I'm going to tell you, I know everybody says we shouldn't have lobbyists, whatever the cities. The lobbyists here run the state, literally.
Yeah.
The MUD lobbyists, they will do this every freaking time. Now they're attacking me personally. It used to be just a talk. Now they're just attacking me. right? Which is fine.
And all you're doing is you're literally trying to represent the constituents of faith. And I mean, yeah, you're not going to be the mayor anymore, but I don't see you going away. You're actually truly passionate about, I mean, you're very passionate about these statewide issues. And I think that it's important, like, no matter what people think of you, even though they, you know, some people don't like you, you're still fighting to represent them on this issue. And I think that's important.
Well, lots of issues. I mean, you know, like all this stuff they just don't understand, right? I mean, this whole thing, I think, in favor of let's get more property tax and free goods, right? Like, you can make that argument, but the state's not going to pass the free goods. You know, seniors don't pay taxes. Bill's not going to pass here either.
Yeah.
Because it's a tax shift. And that's what I don't think some of those people don't understand, specifically Patty and Mark County, don't understand. You're asking for a tax shift, literally.
Yeah.
And just be honest about it, right? You might say they can absorb it, but
right. Either way, somebody's got to pay the taxes. It's not like it just disappears. And our taxes are not like federal where you just write more money. No, like our money has to go towards a service, and we have to account for every dime.
And I think you're hitting the same place where I probably am going to get to slowly is they tax rate's almost too low. It's getting to a point where we can't do basic things again, right? Because we're getting bigger and we're not going to stop the growth because of the pre-existing agreements, right?
Right.
Just the way it's going to work. And so I think that's where you're heading with the med taxes hurt the ability of the city to raise taxes.
That's exactly right. And I don't, and it's not that we need to raise taxes like astronomically, but we have services that we have to provide to our citizens, and if we can't raise the taxes enough to cover just the basics, I mean, just the DPS, we're going to get to a point where we can't even do that. And we've built. Well,
you're going to need a Southside station, right? We need a Southside station badly. Yeah,
you're going to need that, and then you have to staff them, and that's residual. You know, like it's not going to go away. Yeah. It's not like a one-time thing. You can build a building, and that's a one-time thing. But we're talking about staff, and that we're building a huge police station, and we're not going to have the money to staff it.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. And then you get in this really strange argument, right? Is why'd you build a building and nobody in it?
Yeah, and I get it. It's a great point. But if we don't even have the opportunity to expand. So I mean, we had to pass it, but I mean, their problems, their points are valid points. How do we staff it? We have to raise taxes eventually if we don't have, the amount coming in that we need. I mean, that sucks. I don't like it.
I agree.
And I hear my constituents when they complain about it, and they're valid complaints. So Go ahead. Oh, okay. Well, I was just going to ask you if you knew. Do you know if anybody is planning on running against Bob Hall?
There's rumors out there. I mean, very few have been asked to run against him. The rumors are the latest rumor is there's two rumors. One rumor is he's going to not run again. Katrina's going to move to the state senate. Then there's a free for all for AC 33. That's one line of thinking. Third line of thinking is he runs again, and someone have to run against him, but nobody really wants to, right? Mm-hmm. Because part of that is you would have to run extraordinary I mean, the announcement you would have to basically do. If somebody made an announcement against Bob Hall, you have to say, basically, I'm running against Bob Hall. In the next 10 minutes, you're going to see the most massive attack ad against Mike on this campaign you've ever seen. You have to put him in a corner like immediately. Because he fights 30. He just literally fights 30. And
it's so funny to hear that because like everybody thinks that Bob Hall is like the second coming of Jesus. Like if you can't speak negatively about Bob Hall in Rockwall County. I've never been very impressed. I know. But
I'm not a, but say, here's why. So if you think about what he really does, right? He walks up and says, hey, so look, I'm great on the social issues, right? Look at me. I'm conservative. Like, one person said, one lady, Joanne said, well, there's impeccable credentials. I said, it's taking power away from him. He would never do that. Ladies, gentlemen, he voted 9 times against cities already. Already. Mm-hmm. He's voted against every anti-city. He says cities are out of control. He'll tell you that. Yeah. But he never campaigns on it.
No.
And that's what they do. He'll never tell you either. So these people who'd say, why are you doing this? Or like, David's speaking as well, Paul. But I've convinced the people in Rockwell County what he's doing.
I'm glad that you have, because I think, I think you're right. And I will tell you, he was great under like the stuff that was going on in the schools. He went around and I went to his little presentations that he did talking about grooming in the schools, and I totally supported all that. But the thing is that whenever I call him to actually talk to him about things that the legislator can do to help protect our kids in schools, he's not interested in having that conversation. So he's interested in getting people all riled up. But when it comes time to actually do the work and his job, he's nowhere to be found.
Exactly. And I mean, he's honest. I mean, I meet with him. He made me until I asked him to write in, like, what's the staff? I have full access to staff this year. And Katrina staff, same way. But you're right. It had nothing to do with city stuff. Mm-hmm. Cities are out of control. City council are out of control. They'd be real back in the way the state, even Katrina said that the state loaned zoning power to the cities, and cities have to use it responsibly. They can take it back. If you're a statewide person, that works, right? But people in Rockwell County don't understand that.
Well, so yes, there is there's a debate to be had about property rights versus local power.
City rights.
Yeah, and there's a debate to be had, but I don't think that we've actually even had the debate. We've just been forced into this because of big money that are backing these MUDs.
Now, we're going to try to have a town hall, like someone's going to try to have a town hall in Rockwell County to explain this stuff to them. The problem is, how do you explain this stuff to them, right? I bet if you put a survey out, but they said, do you know what a plat is? You should try this one day. Just put one out. Do you know what a plat is?
Yeah.
Or do you find a plat? Nobody knows. Right? So the question is becoming, how do you explain this to people?
How do you educate everybody? Yeah. We need a PAC. We need a PAC that donates to local control. That is for local control, not just for Fate, but like for all of Rockwall. We need a PAC.
So I agree with you. So what's going to happen is the Fate PAC is going to dissolve more likely and reconstitution of the Rockwall PAC. Mm-hmm. Right? No, that's being discussed. The problem is we need money to start. Because we're going to have to hire a professional lobbyist out of Boston. Mm-hmm. Right? We don't have a choice. You cannot be here 140 days.
Right.
Every deal here is cut in private here. Mm-hmm. It's not in committee hearings. It's not like open government here, right? It's in private. It's in the hallways.
Right. They don't care about executive session. Everything's executive session.
Exactly.
And everything that the public sees is just a dog and pony show.
Exactly. And do I testify? Sure. Or you need to be on the record. Then I walk outside and find the lobbyists or go.
That's really running the show.
Correct, and that's what you're really doing. I have, I don't know if people like this idea, but I have relationships with lobbyists now here, outside of our contract.
Well, that's the game. I mean, you have to have a relationship with a lobbyist, because if you don't get anything.
Exactly, and they'll oppose you. Like, I get Texas 2036 not to oppose us on things, or tone it down, or Texas for housing, or Texas for reasonable solutions. All that stuff is just different, and it's just a different game, a different level, and it's just not like a local government. So the PAC is being informed. So I think what's going to happen, unless I close up, I got to pay a bill first on the PAC. But after I pay the bill, then we're going to close the PAC and reopen it as a Rockwall PAC. If you got a clever name, just let me know, okay? If you got a clever name, you're pretty good at clever stuff.
I'm good at marketing.
You are. I'm not, by the way. You probably look it up.
No, you're really, David, you're really analytical, and you're really good at looking into like research, and
right.
I didn't appreciate that about you for a long time, but no, you know your stuff. The stuff that's important to you, you know it backwards and forwards. So I mean, you're the only person that I would call to have an explanation on MUDs for sure.
Yeah. Thank you for that. I do appreciate that. Hey, by the way, are you going to appoint ex-council members to boards?
Ex-council members? I mean, I don't know why I wouldn't.
Like Alan? Yeah, me either.
I don't know why I wouldn't. I mean, do you plan on running for something or asking to be on a board?
Why does everybody ask me that question?
Well, I only asked because you mentioned it. I only asked because you mentioned it.
no, Alan wants to be back on the MDD again. I think as a
Yeah.
citizen.
No, I think I think
Yeah.
that he's probably super qualified for that. I mean, he's already on it, so.
Yeah, exactly. I think with me, I don't know what to do, right? Part of it is going to be, I firmly believe that we need a pro-city PAC or a pro-local government PAC, whatever you call it, right? We need one.
For sure.
Because you need someone to go up here and fight, and it's a weird battle. It's kind of like, you got to be strangely weird to do this because you don't people, you never got to build change.
Yeah.
Yes, I have, but my name is not on it because it's his bill.
Sure,
bill, not your bill. You just get influenced the bill, right? So we need that. We need money. The question is, do we go to the state donors and get money? Which I don't know. There's a new billionaire in Texas right now that's doesn't like Tim Dunn, which is, do we fight towards him? But we need a lobbyist, a real lobbyist. Restaurant lobbies that we have to pay to help us navigate.
Who's the billionaire? And he's against MUDs, this billionaire?
Yeah, he's against everything. He's anti-Tim Dunn. I'll text you the article I found on Texas Tribune.
Yeah, I want his information. If there's a guy out there, because I think I know some people that are interested in doing a local PAC here in Rockwall. For local rights because they're passionate about the same thing. And they've done a lot of, they've done a lot of research on the MUDs, and so they may be interested in that, but they would need to have those contacts, from.
Well, that and number two, we're gonna need money because
that's what I'm saying. I need that billionaire. I need his info.
Oh, exactly. I know. I'm with you. Number two, you need a board of directors. I mean, what you need to do is a board of directors, right? With different people on there, some with local government experience, no electeds. Which we said that already. No electeds. But you want people who understand local government, who's willing to come to us and fight for it. And the PAC would have to hire lobbyists to work with. The lobbyists do what you tell them to do, right? The lobbyists don't go off on their own. They do not. They wouldn't have a job, right? We think about
for sure.
It's like if I tell you cut your hair one way, you did another way. I'm not coming back to you.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, you're a hired activist, is what you are.
Exactly what you are. Exactly. And they literally follow what you want to do. They may try to talk you out of something or give you the reality, but they always fight for it, right? So,
right.
All right, I gotta go back in.
Okay.
Anyway, so I will talk to you later.
All right.